Only the paranoid survive. Andy Grove. You have to see failure as the beginning and the middle, but never entertain it as an end. Jessica Heron. Success depends on employees. For me, knowing and connecting with my employees is very important. Divine and Lucula. Don't let others convince you that the idea is good when your gut tells you it's bad. Kevin Rose. Don't get distracted. Never tell yourself that you need to be the biggest brand in the whole world. Start by working on what you need at the present moment and then what you need to do tomorrow. So, set yourself manageable targets. Jazz Bagniewski. If you can offer a free tier that provides a lot of value, it will naturally help your product to spread much more rapidly. Melanie Perkins. In the age of transparency, honesty, and generosity, even in the form of an apology, generate goodwill. Alexander Asali. If we tried to think of a good idea, we wouldn't have been able to think of a good idea. You just have to find the solution for a problem in your own life. Brian Chesky. One of the greatest skills of leadership is being unflappable. Anytime you do anything in the world, there's going to be criticism. Ariana Huffington. When you are building a startup, it's difficult. Particularly, a startup that is expanding at the rate of Tinder. You have to give 100%, and you have to be committed. Solving the problem has to be personal or else you're going to disintegrate. Success depends on employees. For me, knowing and connecting with my employees is very important. Divine and Lucula. Selling is not a pushy, winner-takes-all, macho act. It is an empathy-led, process-driven, and knowledge-intensive discipline. Because, in the end, people buy from people. Subrato Bagchi. Ignore the hype of the startups that you see in the press. Mostly, it's a pack of lies. Half of these startups will be dead in a year. So, focus on building your business so you can be the one left standing. Jules Pierre. It's important to realize that brand is much more than a logo and slogan. A brand is who your company is, how you function and make decisions. Joanna McFarland. Do not focus on numbers. Focus on doing what you do best. It's about building a community who want to visit your site every day because you create value and offer expertise. Cassie Ho. When in doubt, bootstrap. Using your own personal resources is the easiest way to start a business. You don't have to convince investors about the merits of your idea. You just have to convince yourself. Ryan Holmes. You have to see failure as the beginning and the middle, but never entertain it as an end. Jessica Heron. Starting a company extracts so much energy and conviction that not having a clear-cut goal and meaningful mission can hamper your success. This is why at Verta, our mission was clearly defined: reverse early type 2 diabetes in 100 million people by 2025. If you know too much before the start, then you will get overwhelmed. Come up with an original idea, and don't copy because there will be no passion. You need that otherworldly passion. Just start. Jenny Britton Bauer. Don't assume that borrowing lots of money can make your startup fly. There are many things to the business other than investors, and it's possible to succeed with your startup without breaking the bank. Barnaby Lashbrook. Don't try to do everything by yourself, but try to connect with people and resources. Having that discipline and perseverance is really important. Chu Chow. It's necessary to find a mentor who can invest time to know your personal capabilities and business model. Nigel Davies. Don't get distracted. Never tell yourself that you need to be the biggest brand in the whole world. Start by working on what you need at the present moment and then what you need to do tomorrow. So, set yourself manageable targets. Jazz Bagniewski. You have to get good at ceding control and not taking things personally. Even seasoned entrepreneurs have struggled with that. I think it's about not taking failures personally and also not taking successes personally. Layla Jannah. No matter how many customers you have, each is an individual. The day you start thinking of them as this amorphous collection and stop thinking of them as people is the day you start going out of business. Dharmesh Shah. Your ability to attract, evaluate, and forge strong working relationships with co-founders, early employees, and investors often mean the difference between failure and success. Clara Shi. Fundraising is much easier now because of crowdfunding. Take advantage of that. Constantine Bazans. Being a woman in business doesn't come without challenges. My advice? Surround yourself with other supportive women that encourage you, share ideas, and get you motivated. Jessica Alba. If you can offer a free tier that provides a lot of value, it will naturally help your product to spread much more rapidly. Melanie Perkins. My advice is to focus on the importance of forging a long-term relationship, whether with colleagues, partners, or customers. It is often easy to get caught up in short-term decisions. Sheila Lirio Marcello. If you're starting something on your own, you better have a passion for it, because this is hard work. Sally Krawcheck. Be nicer to your customers than your competitors. Richard Reed. Passion, creativity, and resilience are the most crucial skills in business. If you've got those, you're ready to embark on the journey. Joe Malone. If you are working on a product that's going to be consumer-facing, then feedback is invaluable. You should be out there being brave and talking to people and asking for feedback as much as possible. Emily Brooke. In the age of transparency, honesty, and generosity, even in the form of an apology, generate goodwill. Alexander Asali. Sometimes, it doesn't hurt to ask. I have been in the news many times just by calling on the news channel and asking them about featuring my business. Lori Cheek. Remain self-funded as long as possible. Garrett Camp. Start as small as you can. When I started Skinny Tea, I had $24 in the bank, and I was entirely self-funded. If you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Greta Rose Van Riel. As a founder, lay all the possible scenarios from best to worst in front of you, so you don't get surprised when something happens. Brian Wong. We learned many things while building Foursquare. One of the most important lessons is to be clear to investors about what the company will and will not do. And be open about the priorities of the things that have to be done. Dennis Crowley. Don't let others convince you that the idea is good when your gut tells you it's bad. Kevin Rose. If you tune it so that you have zero chance of failure, you usually also have zero chance of success. The key is to look at ways for when you get to your failure checkpoint, you know to stop. Reid Hoffman. Some days you're smiling and thinking you're going to make this thing rock. Then the next day a pipe breaks and your costs look too high. You have to learn to keep your eyes on an ultimate goal. If you lose sight of that goal, you have to get out. If something is important enough, or you believe something is important enough, even if you are scared, you will keep going. Elon Musk. One of the things I tend to do is open myself up to a variety of voices. I try to expose myself to the kind of culture shock that occurs when you talk to people who speak a different language. Pierre Omidyar. If you start thinking you are good at something, that's often the day you stop trying to be better and open the back door for someone to come after you. That's why we always aim higher. We never feel like we're done. Drew Houston.